everybody, this is Keith here of Euphoria Pictures. Welcome back to my channel. Right, so the wait is finally over and I got my hands on the 4K Blu-ray release of Dog Soldiers from Second Sight. And as you can see, I managed to get it on its release day as well, which is quite amazing because that never happens to me. And I've spoken about this briefly in some of my videos about Second Sight, but unfortunately for some strange reason over here in Ireland, when you try to buy these movies on Amazon UK, they keep coming up as unavailable, where if you're living in the UK, it's widely available, but we can't seem to get them over here. So the only thing I can do now is to either buy from Zavvi, which, as you know, I would rather not do that, or I could buy directly from Second Sight. Now, I've mentioned this before in a video. The reason why I don't buy directly from Second Sight was because the last time I did it, which was the Babadook release, I got hit by a big customs charge and it ended up being just too expensive, unfortunately. But then a YouTuber by the name of Steve kind of started messaging me, and he was telling me that he's been buying off Second Sight. He lives in Ireland as well, and he hasn't been getting any custom charges. So I took a gamble on this one and bought it directly from Second Sight, and Steve was absolutely spot on. No customs charge. Whatever has changed, something has changed, and now we're not getting hit by customs charges when we buy from Second Sight. So I have to tell you, I am a little relieved about that because they are by far one of my favourite labels, and I just didn't want to have to rely on people to actually ship these over to me, and I definitely didn't want to pick it up from Zavvi either. As for the movie itself, the movie is absolutely remarkable. One of my favourite werewolf movies, And I have to give credit to the cast of this movie. The reason to why I enjoy this movie so much is down to the cast. Some fantastic characters in this movie, and they're unbelievably funny. Some of the dialogue is absolutely golden. It's fantastic to listen to. And the werewolves themselves, the costume design on the werewolves look absolutely amazing when you're kind of considering the very mediocre budget that it actually had. And thankfully the movie now has gained a massive cult following. And again, I have to praise Second Sight for doing such a wonderful job on this release. So what I'm going to do in this video, it's going to be a little bit different. I am going to take us around this release, and then I'm going to come back and I'm going to talk about the 4K picture on this. But instead of putting this movie up against a Blu-ray, I am actually going to put it up against this, which is another 4K release of Dog Soldiers that we got from Koch Films. So they're a German site. So this is the first time I'm ever going to do this, where I'm going to put up a 4K versus 4K picture comparisons, just to show you how much better this one looks over that one. And that one, I actually had that in my featured, I actually had it featured in my top 10 worst looking 4K transfers. I actually had that at number 2. And I remember people saying to me that what can you possibly expect from a movie that was shot in 16mm? And I said in that video that I was expecting Second Sight to do something quite special with their transfer, because they always do. They always deliver. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take us around this release, and I probably will show you the other one there as well, because it actually is a nice release. And then, yeah, we'll show you them picture comparisons, which I can't wait to show you. So let's get to it. Right, so here we go. Here are the 2 editions of Dog Soldiers that I'm going to be showing, and like I said, they're both 4K releases. You got Second Sight and Koch Films here. So I have removed the J cards off both of them, and I will show you to the back of this J card first. So this is the Koch Films one, and as you can see, there's quite a lot of features in there as well. You do get a 4K disc in this release. You get a Blu-ray, DVD, and a bonus disc. So chances are there might be features on this release that I don't have on the Second Sight release. So all the more reason to probably keep this Koch Films release of it. So yeah, remove this J card, and then we will take us on to the... we'll start with this one here, the Media Book edition of it. And sorry, I just want to remove all this stuff out of the way. Right, so that is the artwork that we all know and love. I always loved, a big fan of the original artwork, and I'm not going to complain about this not featuring on the Second Sight release, because the artwork they've done on it is something amazing. So, and I have this version of it, so yeah, no complaints at all. Right, so on to the Spine edition. As you can see, it's quite a thick looking set. It is a Media Book edition, and then take us around to the back of it, and yeah, it's just a simple bit of artwork there. Get a couple of werewolves. So right, we'll open it up, and inside you got your 4K disc, and that's your Blu-ray disc behind it. And then on the opposite side, you've got a DVD of the movie, and you've got the extras as well. And I'm just going to see is the extras the extras are actually on a DVD disc, yeah. So yeah, you just got a couple of pages here as well. This is, like I said, a German release, so it is all going to be naturally in German writing. So yeah, just a quick little look at the media book edition of this. And I was a fan of the media book, even though I wasn't a huge fan of the transfer they'd done on it. Right, so move that to a side, and then we're going to bring in this one here. And I've just dropped my slipcover or my J card, and I picked it up there now. And right, I'm going to quickly show you the J card on this one. So again, there is a lot of your features. I haven't done a comparison with the features, unfortunately, but something's telling me there will be different features on it, on both releases. So yeah, and that's a couple of looks here, closer look at your technical aspects there as well. So that is the J card, and then we'll bring us on to the release itself, and check out the artwork on this. Second Sight, they always deliver as well when it comes to unique looking artwork, and I honestly think this is absolutely jaw-dropping. And again, I hope the camera is picking all of that up, all that detail. It's one of them covers you could sit there for 5 minutes and you could probably pick up something new about it. It just looks that good. Can't praise it enough. Look at that. Right, so take us onto the spine of it there, and then take us around to the back, and you just got the little farmhouse there as well, and a couple of leaves. So nothing too extravagant on the back of the box itself, but I do love it. I really do, especially that main artwork. I can't get enough of it. Right, so let's take our actually, before I do that, just give you a quick look at the items inside the box. So right, let's take them out and have a closer look at them. So what we got? We've got postcards, we've got a book, and we've got the movies themselves. So I think I'll start with the postcards first. So right, and I think this is all unique looking artwork. I think any of these would have been great for the main cover art. Them two in particular, sorry, that I just showed off. So yeah, a couple of just stills from the movie itself, and that's one of the werewolf. And look at the design. It'll absolutely look amazing, really is amazing. So yeah, that's just a quick close look at the postcards you're getting it. So there was around, what, probably 5 or 6 as per usual, yeah, 6. So move that to a side, then brings us on to the book itself. So it's quite simple, it's just field notes. You've got Dog Soldiers written on it, and I think there is Dog Soldiers written on the spine of it there as well. Hope the camera's picking that up. And then around to the back, and there's not a whole lot there. There is it looks like a coffee cup stain or something like that. I think that's what it's meant to be. So take us through the booklet quickly, and I'm sure there is a write-up about maybe the restoration of this movie. I'm sure there is, because they've been working on it for such a long time. And as you can see back there, you got a few behind the stills scenes, behind the scene stills. Wow. So yeah, just a quick look at the book, and I love the way that the pages look like they've been kind of aged. You can sort of see coffee stains all over them as well, which is pretty cool. So yeah, it's a nice thick looking book as well, as we come to know and expect from Second Sight. So that is the book, and then that brings us lastly on to the digipack you get with this. And again, we did see this artwork on one of the postcards, and I do love it. I think it looks amazing. Wow, that is absolutely jaw-dropping. And again, this artwork would have worked on the main cover as well, I think. So is there anything on the spine of it? Absolutely nothing. And then take us around to the back of it, and much like the outer box as well, it's almost like maybe it's the back of the house. I honestly don't know. You can't see the house on the back of this one. So yeah, quite simple. So I'm going to open it up in full. So as you can see, it's just yeah, it actually does have a complete full picture. I do love when you see that. And then take us inside, and you have got your 2 discs. There is nothing, I don't think there's anything behind the discs. No, there's nothing at all. So that is it, your 4K and your Blu-ray disc. So that is everything, folks, that you get in the Second Sight release. So you got your digipack edition there. You've got your booklet there. You've got your couple of postcards as well. And of course, you've got the box that houses it all in. Another amazing job with Second Sight. Right, folks, so there you have it. That is everything you get in this Second Sight release, and another solid effort from Second Sight. They really are amazing. So, right, before we get onto the 4K transfer, let's go through some technical aspects first. It's got an aspect ratio of 185 by 1. It supports Dolby Vision and HDR. It's got a DTS HD Master Audio 5.1. It has a running time of 105 minutes. And of course, it's a native 4K disc. Right, so this is the part of the video where I meant to tell you to curb your expectations just a little bit because this movie was shot in 16mm. I'm definitely not going to do that because this movie looks extraordinary on 4K Blu-ray. And when you actually stack it up against the previous 4K release that we got from Germany, it truly is night and day. What a difference it makes. Now, some of the problems that I actually had with the German release on 4K was the colours were completely washed out. And because it didn't have HDR, that German release, there was no HDR, there was no Dolby Vision, so naturally the colours, yeah, looked a little washed out. The black levels were absolutely non-existent, as well as the shadow detail. There was little to no fine detail, and the entire picture was riddled in film dirt. I've never seen so much movie dirt on a print before, on a release before, sorry, like this 4K release that we got. But thankfully, Second Sight have addressed every single one of them. The Dolby Vision now, even though it does again look slightly darker than that previous 4K release, it looks absolutely amazing. The colours are beautifully vibrant and very, very natural looking as well. The black levels are inky, they're deep, and it gives a nice element of depth to the picture quality. The shadow detail as well across the board looks fantastic. You can clearly see now that there is a huge uptick in resolution as well, in fine detail. It can be seen on the usual suspects, you know, the facial details, again, clothing and textures, some of the interiors of the house as well. Even look at the dog in this movie. It just has this incredible amount of detail on them. Yes, the movie is grainy and it can be very heavy at times. But I have to admit, it was so consistent and it was so pleasing to the eyes, I honestly did not care. This is what I was hoping we were going to get from Second Sight, and you can't help but praise them what they've done in this 4K release. It really does look something truly remarkable. And again, in a 16mm movie. Who knew? It's got a DTS 5.1 audio, and yes, I knew we weren't going to get a Dolby Atmos soundtrack or a DTS-X soundtrack because Second Sight just don't do it. But for the most part, the sound is fine. There is a great sense of activity, a good sense of activity, good sense of atmosphere. And there is a great separation with your speakers as well, and the dialogue is very clean. It comes out of your center channel. You'll have absolutely no worries. So all in all, folks, this is a no-brainer. If you're a fan of this movie, you need to pick this release up from Second Sight. It is truly amazing. I honestly cannot praise it enough. And yeah, and the audio as well it sounds great, and I don't think you're going to have any issues with it at all. So that is it, folks. That is it. So as per usual, if you did like this video, please do give it a thumbs up, and if you could leave a comment down below, and please do share your thoughts on this remarkable movie and how it looks now. And yeah, I hope to see you all again real soon with my next video. Until then, I'll see you soon. Bye bye.